let's talk about half-life in table and graph form and some calculations, but bite-sized for physical science. Okay, after this video, you should be able to graph the mass of a radioactive sample as it undergoes decay, represent changes in a radioactive sample in table form, and use that table or graph to answer questions about a sample. You should also be able to calculate the amount of a sample remaining after a given number of half-lives. You should already know what half-life is. It's me, Moser. Let's go. Okay, so hopefully you remember that the half-life of any radioactive material is the time that it takes 1/2 of the atoms in the sample of that radioactive material to undergo decay. In other words, for their nucleus to decay. So if we started off with 10 radioactive atoms, after 1 half-life, we would expect that we had 5 radioactive atoms left and 5 daughter product atoms and 5 bits of radiation that were given off. All right, so how do we graph and table this information? Well, if we start with a sample of some known mass, we can just create a table that shows how many grams of the sample decay in each half-life. So here I've got some imaginary 150 gram mass of a radioactive sample, and we know that after 1 half-life, half of the mass will have decayed. So we'll have 75 grams left as the mass of the sample. After another half-life, another half, so we divide this in half, 37.5. After 3 half-lives, when we divide this number in half, we're looking at 18.8 grams. 4 half-lives leaves us with 9.4 grams. 4.7 grams after 5 half-lives. After 6 half-lives, only 2.3 grams of the radioactive material remain. And after 7 half-lives, goodness, we're down to 1.2 grams of that radioactive material. Now, this is a great way to represent the information, but it's really easy if we can show this in graph form. Once we have that table created with all the masses of our sample as it decays, it's relatively easy to graph it, and then we can connect the dots to create a line. It looks like an exponential function. Well, that's weird. Okay, so let's talk just a little bit about how we got the numbers to populate that table so that we could graph it. Well, you understand that when we've got that 100 gram sample, the first thing we're going to do is multiply by 0.5, or if you prefer, we could say 1/2. Now, that's the first half-life's worth of decay. After a second half-life, we've multiplied by 1/2 again. So if we started with a 100 gram sample, after 1 half-life we had 50 grams, after 2 half-lives we have 25 grams. Let's show that in a slightly more mathematically correct way. So 100 grams, the starting mass of our sample, times 1/2 times 1/2. Wait a minute, isn't that just 100 grams times 1/2 squared? Isn't that squared, that exponent, just the number of half-lives? Interesting. So what mass of that 100 gram sample would remain after 3 half-lives? Well, we take our starting mass, 100 grams, times 1/2, first half-life, times 1/2, second half-life, times 1/2, third half-life, we get 12.5 grams. Isn't that the same as saying 100 grams times 1/2 cubed? Yeah, and that cubed is the number of half-lives. That gives us, well, still 12.5 grams, and we could actually multiply those 1/2s all together and get 1/8, which gives us 12.5 grams. So we know that after 3 half-lives, the percentage of the sample that remains will be 1/8, or 1/2 cubed. Okay, do you feel like you can represent the mass of a radioactive sample as it undergoes decay in graph and table form? Can you use that table or graph to answer questions about a sample? And can you calculate the amount of a sample remaining after any given number of half-lives? Excellent, then you're good to go.